You cannot rebuke somebody who is not assured of your love. And I've learned to be very careful with who I'm giving criticism to. Because if somebody is not assured that Terry wants the best for me, when I give you a criticism, you will not take it in good heart. Yeah. So it's not your job to be correcting everybody, my friend. But by the way, you need to look at them and be like, hey, that is none of my business. No.
I think that's how you draw the line.
Hey, you draw the line. You're like,
no, it's not.
So you just do you. If it makes you happy, okay.
Guys, welcome to the Teen Heart to Heart platform. My name is Naliaka for those who are new here, and today we have our common guest. And so, as usual, before you introduce yourself, I always like to start with an intro. So today's topic is on conflict, and for me, I tend to think conflict is a good thing at times. I don't know if you share the same sentiment. Conflict is a good thing because it enables you to discover yourself and also discover people and also understand people's better personality. So on the topic of conflict, as an intro, what can you say?
Okay. So I think conflict, generally as we know it, is being in a, how will I say it? Disagreement with someone. Yeah. Someone, or I don't know. Yeah, mostly it's with someone. So we can have different types of conflicts. Conflicts with probably our parents, conflict with our friends, conflicts, and in each and every aspect of conflict, I think handling it is different. The way you handle a conflict with your parents is not the way you handle your conflict with your friends. So in general, I think we'll just be covering conflict as in whole, and how probably it affects from teenage to the adult side that we are on right now. Yeah.
So for you, the conflicts that you have had in your life, how have they transformed you? What can you say that is it conflict? Because I believe everyone, isolated who you are, you have had conflicts in one way or another. So how has it built you? How has it transformed you?
Okay, so as I think we had discussed this when we were starting out, there's a time I told you about having conflict. My conflict started mostly when in my teenage years, because that's the time when discovering yourself. That is the time where your hormones are raging, especially adolescent, and so and also this is the age where you don't know how to express yourself. So any a misunderstanding during a communication can also result to conflict. So the conflicts that I've gone through, and what I know is I have evolved through these conflicts. There was a time when I was the girl that would fight with everybody and everyone. Because and not because people were evil, as in they were trying to, I don't know how to put it. It's just that I had gone through my own episodes and I had my own esteem issues. So I had created this wall that anything you said, there was always a barrier that was coming to fight you. So when you say this thing, even if you said it with a good intention, Terry would always be here to oppose you. And this brought me a lot of issues with people and disagreements with people. But one thing I've learned over the years, the way I handled conflict when I was 19 is not how I'm handling conflict when I'm in, I almost said my age. It's not how I'm handling my conflicts in my late 20s, So it's different, and I've evolved over it, because when I was young, it was more of wamenifanyia. Now I'm an adult. I'm at a place where when a disagreement happens, I'm able to say, which part did you play, Terry? It's not even about the other person. What did you do to bring this argument to this level? What did you contribute? What did you say that provoked this other person to get to this level? Is this person important to me that I need to sit down with this person and solve this conflict before it escalates to a place where probably I'll lose this friend, or I'll lose this colleague, or I'll lose this family member? And even when you were young, you were trying to reconcile with everyone. Now you're at a place where you're like, some conflict is good conflict, right? So it's okay. At this time, I'm at a place where I'm like, it's okay for us to disagree, and we don't have to agree on everything, and that's okay. And if that is what will cause a rift, it's fine, because I cannot change who I am, and I cannot change who you are. So some conflicts are good at this age and time. When I was young, I did not know how to differentiate that. I just wanted everything. I want to fight for everyone. As in tukishagombana, nataka to reconcile, nataka turudiane, I want things to go back to normal. But now I'm at a place where I understand sometimes you can go through a conflict and things will never go back to normal.
Okay.
You can betray my trust today and we have a disagreement and I will never trust you again. Once beaten, twice shy, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm an adult. I'm like, if this person can betray my trust like this and they do not even have the audacity to come and apologize or talk about
own
it.
up to it.
Yeah, exactly. Own up to it. There's a way that I can forgive you, but there's a way that I'll never trust you again. You see, there's a difference between how you handled it when you were younger and how you're handling it right now.
And also, I think also gauging, was it done with what intention?
Yeah,
was
exactly.
this? I think that now that brings us to the statement that you said, resolution. How do you handle this conflict? Understanding with what intention was this conflict done?
Yeah.
That if I the malice just to
share exactly.
Or someone did it to whatever the intention it is. I think it's good to understand. It enables you to gauge whether you can allow them again, give them a second chance, have mercy on them, or in by the to the other side.
Yeah. See you in the afterlife, sis. Bye. It was nice.
So how do you come to that point of conflict resolution? Like, what are the things the key things you at times consider in your relationship that brings you to the point of the conflict resolution? The key things that you.
I like what you've said, and I wanted to add this: when you're grown, you know when somebody's intentions were innocent or these people were under malice.
Yeah.
Because there are people who genuinely they don't want to, as in, hakutaki kukuona prosper, not even prosper, like anything that you do, they'll always have a reason to. And that's why even nowadays I'm very cautious about even the kind of people that are allowed to speak over my life. Because say you're here trying to build yourself. You're like, hey manze, I'm going to baking school, I want to do this and this. Hey, like, you know, you're like, this person's intentions are to ensure that that good feeling that you have about the achievement that you're making
just goes down.
You know, say they intentionally they have malice. But then there are people who they offend you and genuinely their intentions were not to, you know.
They didn't even know
they were offending you. There are times you'll say things to people and they didn't even know they're offensive. Then they will hear the story somewhere. And you're like, guy, I was kidding. You know, and you have to go back to that place of apologizing. So you had asked about how
do you come to that place of conflict resolution? Like, what measures do you use in order for you to like go down and sit down with that person and tell them, by the way,
yeah. For me, I think I categorize also the importance of this person in my life. Is this conflict more important than this person's presence in my life? You know, like your parents. Even if you have a disagreement, you can't throw them away at you. I don't want you. You're toxic. No, even if you're toxic. Blood is not thicker. Oh, you know, if it's your parents, then you know how to handle it. Like for parents, as much as you have a conflict, a resolution has to be
at one point in time of you discussing whatever they had to, like you discussing what
I feel like. I can't, I'm not at a better position to say that because I'm the type of person that doesn't know how to approach people, especially my elder people, to inform them because you're not sure how.
Keep it inside.
Not keep it inside. I find a way to approach it later on. Because there are times you'd speak to my mom. Like my mom, there's a day we were talking and I love the idea that now I'm so grown that we can have conversations about the younger me. Because there's a time I told her that there's something she said and I had to chop her mercilessly when you were young. And if you tell my mother today, she denies me. But deep down, she's laughing because she remembers. And then she's like, hey, you know. But it has come from many years. And probably it's something that you were young and you felt like, oh, my mother did this. Or maybe she spoke a word that hurt me. But now that you're as you've come to approach it at an adult age. But I'm feeling like parents nowadays are more open to the idea.
Yeah,
you know, I've seen parents who talk to their kids literally. And I've said this over and over in this channel. Our parents, you are not the type that your mama wants us to sit down and talk about what happened. There's not talking about it. The parent is right, and you're always wrong. I know. So for parents, I don't know how to advise and how to get to that place. But for friendships, Mimi, I believe, like people keep saying this, a relationship where there's no communication, it will eventually fail. Mimi, I believe even in your friendships. Like if you cannot sit down and discuss a conflict, how am I supposed to come later on and even give you advice about other things? If you cannot talk about the ugly things, how are we supposed to enjoy the good things? You know, So me na feelingi with your friends, and that's why you need to have people wenye they're approachable and you can tell them when they're wrong. And I've realized sometimes it's easier said than done. You can say that
It's
and your
very
inner
easy.
circle is easy to say, but the moment you start to tell them, by the hapa penye unafanya ni makosa, it brings a conflict because they're like, I'm an adult, why are you telling me what to do? You know? Exactly, I'm only taki, oh, you don't have to see me prosper. But that's not the case. I believe if you're friends and you really want your friendship to go to that deeper level, even in terms of conflict, they have to be discussed. Otherwise, people will, when we don't discuss it and we assume it's not there, it will break our trust. And I will always be like, every time when it comes to an issue that I feel will provoke you, na assume. And that's not how friendship is. Ama nanyamaza tu, which is not right. Exactly. Me, I'd prefer my friends to tell me, by the way, you're being stupid. Whatever thing you are doing is not right. The way you spoke to somebody was not right, and you need to apologize, you know? So for your friends, I think you need to create that platform where you're like, hata tukikosana, we need to be able to sit down and table all our issues and forget it and now move on to the next chapter.
I think that point what you're talking about is that point of cohesion. Like you cannot cohesion. I think is the point where two people come to agree. Like you come to an agreement. Because I think every relationship, you need to come to that point of agreement. By the way, mimi ukina nikienda hivi niambie. Because as in being open with your friends and telling them, by the way, if you see I'm going in this direction, even if no matter how, as in, I'll come and appreciate that thought later. I might appreciate it right now, but I'll come and appreciate that thought later when I'm like, hey, by the way, in the same place. And then another thing also I think is how consistent, checking how consistent does this person really offend you.
Hey, the number of times also matters. We can't be discussing the same issue. You keep doing it and
it's checking the number of times. Like, hey, by the way, the consistency because kuna watu wanakoseanga then wako so easy kukwambia pole, by the way. Then the next time they repeat the same mistake, by the way, pole. Since then the next time when I repeat, since pole maana nakwambia, this is my weakness. How do you deal with that? The weakness is to offend you. Whatever they're doing is offending you, but they're telling you this is my weakness. How do you deal with that?
I remember there's a friend of mine, her name is Angie. She said, utashinda ukinikosea alafu unashinda kusema pole. In all honesty, the thing is, she would think that I was doing it intentionally. One, there are people who they are doing it intentionally, and then there are people who it's just the same mistake, just in a different format. And I didn't know this different format is still a mistake, you know. Like last time, niliku chapa slap. This time, nimekuchapa hapa. So you told me not to slap you, but I've slapped you here. So there's a difference, you know. And sometimes you don't know you're intentionally doing wrong until a person sits you down. But I think even as a growth process, one thing we need to learn is nobody's perfect. Even your friends, they will offend you over and over again. But you need to learn what is it that I can take and what is it that I cannot take. What's being done intentionally and what's being done out of malice, you know. So sorry, I've forgotten the question you asked me about how do you deal with these people who have said that this is my weakness
and it's offending you.
And you need to, I think you need to evaluate, is this something that I can take? Or is it something that if they continue to do, it will continue to strain me as a friend and it will cause me to walk out. So I'm realizing that not everything can be sorted out. Sometimes it's a matter of walking away. If you feel like it's something that you cannot stomach, you just have to walk away, because sometimes you can't change someone, and maybe also they're not doing it intentionally and they don't even know they're offending you. Like me, I'm a joker. I say many things. So unaweza kuwa na msee mwenye amenizoea anajoteria jokingi, but then within the same circle kunaweza kuwa na mtu mwenye anafikirianga Terry thinks she's funny and it's not funny. You know, so sometimes you need to evaluate, is this too much for my plate? If it's too much for my plate, then
let go. But as long as you've communicated, because I think communication is the best thing, right? Because you just don't, like for me, I have the weakness of, if umenikosea utanikosea nitanyamaza. Tunakwambia, for me I'm thinking, hey man, this you're an old person, so you fikiri unanikosea.
Actually, when you need to tell them. Not everyone or not.
I'm that type of person who will be like, you're a grown up and you know you're wrong. So I'm like, the way I'm thinking, I expect you to think in that format.
Wow.
So I give you, sometimes I tend to give attitudes just to send a hint. But come to ashiki your hint, I just walk away, and I think that is a bad thing.
That's a bad thing. Even me, I wanted to tell you that's a bad thing. Don't do that. Because even if you continue to do that even with your friends, even in future with your relationship, probably you get married. Utakuna kasirikia bwanako alafu unanyamaza alafu you expect him to be an angel and to know where you're mad.
Read my
Like,
mind.
and then when he doesn't read your mind, you're like, I'm done with this marriage. No,
I'm
you can't
so
do
done.
that.
But
Because it's a behavior that you're creating, and in the future, it will affect even your other relationships, not just your
did
friends.
it come out of fear or what?
I think it's
'Cause
fear,
yes.
really. It's you don't like conflict. Now you're the type
Yeah, no, that's
of, I'd
the
rather
best
not argue than
thing. I like
Eh.
this. Like, honestly, I prefer peace.
Hey,
If you
sweetheart,
place
you
your
can't have peace
argue,
every day.
if you place your argument for like, I very silly.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
I feel like you can't have peace every day. Like there are days that you'll have to approach things that you're not even comfortable
Or
with.
if I happen to really approach it, later on I tend to feel guilty for telling you how you
Why?
wronged me.
You're expressing yourself, and anyone that does not accept the fact that you're trying to express yourself is not somebody you have any business being friends with in the first place.
So
Mimi, if I'm not for anti-something, you will know. Because one, I don't have that filter of pretending. I don't know how to pretend. Like, if whatever you're doing is wrong, is wrong. Sijuangi ku pretend. And most people think it's from a place of thinking that I'm self-righteous, but I'm not. Like, that's how I've been created. I don't know how to be okay with something that I'm not okay with. So, even at that place, penye, if there's something wrong that you're doing, mostly, hata kama takasirika, me and those ones who will, I'll go through takasirika.
But you won't carry it.
Yeah, for like 2 days, and you will know I'm upset because my attitude and everything will be showing you that I'm upset. But then, like on the third day when I'm calm, now I sit and try to talk to you. But when I try to talk to you and you're not trying to comprehend what I'm trying to say,
Being
because
defensive.
not even sometimes it's me, sometimes defensive I even take it because I'm like, okay, they're just trying to protect their feelings. But there are people you try to communicate with and they're like, they completely don't want to communicate with you. And I've learned to shut down. Now that's why I shut down. Yeah. So Memo, you don't talk about it, and I will also not talk about it. We will move on with our lives, but I will continuously be cautious about how I handle you in certain situations, you know. And the other day we were talking with my friends about how grown we are, because there's a situation that would have happened a long time ago, and the way I would have reacted a long time ago and how I'm reacting right now is not the same. And it's amazing to get to that place where you're like, you know what, I love myself enough to not allow you to, as in, if this is not what you think is right, then I will walk away. I'm okay to walk, as in Nico ready to walk away from anything that is not serving me at this point in time. So you can't be at your feeling guilty because you said, speak your mind, madam. If somebody doesn't want to listen, watch our day.
Would you say sharing people also can help you be able to correct them when you see them they're wrong?
Sharing,
msakwetu ule mtu akukuja na kwambia shida zako, always pointing on your mistakes, to always pointing on your mistakes. Do you feel like also cheering people cheering people all the time, like kuja nikwambia hapo ulifanya poa, then the next time ukifanya makosa nikwambia hapo ulifanya makosa? Is it a good thing?
It's a good thing
to cultivate in your friendship, so that you can also be able to, when the conflict arises, because they will be able to say, by the way,
there's something that TD Jakes was interviewed by the daughter Sarah Jakes, and they were talking about how that time when Sarah got pregnant when she was, I think, 14. And TD Jakes said there's a time that Sarah wrote a book, and when she wrote a book, the father criticized it, and they told them, hey, this book is not Nini, what you've done here, what you've done there, what you've done there. And the chick said, the fact that you criticized me when I was wrong. Now, and then later on, when she made the corrections and the book was perfect, TD Jakes told Sarah, this is the best thing that is going to, as in it's going to change your life, because it's the greatest book I've read, and this and this and this. And he said, because you had the audacity to tell me when I was wrong, and you corrected me when I was wrong, now your compliment means so much to me because I know it's authentic. You would never give me you would never always ni pamper. You're not the kind to pamper me. When I'm wrong, you tell me I'm wrong. And when you tell me I'm doing well, then I believe you, because even when I'm wrong, you usually tell me. So I know you would never tell me it's good if it's not good. You know? So you need to cultivate that culture of tell your friends with it. Me, I am those people who compliments people, even people in my office know. When you come in with a new hairstyle, hey, madam, do it. I'm those people. Killers, we are your peanuts, crushers. I usually shout like that. So when you learn to compliment people, even when they're going through a crisis and they know they're in a place where probably they don't even know it's a mistake. then you come and you tell them, because they're so used to your goodness, they know that even when it's a bad thing, you're being genuine. It's not out of malice that you want a key or anything, because they have seen you compliment them during good periods, so they know if you're not saying it's good, it means that something is off.
It's not.
You know, so you need to create that culture of
balancing.
because people, the other day we were reading about, I don't know if you saw the status I posted about I'm 32, I'm not being married, people are going through so much.
I screenshot it.
People are going through so much, and sometimes people just need your kindness, and learn to speak life into people, so that even when you're saying negative things, they'll be able to pick it up and be like, hey, kama Terry alisema na ndio nashinda kinembe niko poa, enyewe hapa nililala, you know.
And how do you court? How do you court it with love? Because kuna venye you can correct someone with harshness until they're like, hey, sour. But how do you court correction? How do you court conflict with love? Is it okay no ubaya? I guess, how do you do it with mercy?
There's something that my mentor always says, you cannot rebuke somebody who is not assured of your love. And I've learned to be very careful with who I'm giving criticism to, because if somebody is not assured that Terry wants the best for me, when I give you a criticism, you will not take it in good hands. Yeah. So it's not your job to be correcting everybody, my friend. But when you need to look at them and be like, hey, that is none of my business. No.
I think that's how you draw the line.
Hey, you draw the line. You're like, hey,
no, it's not.
So you just do you. If it makes you happy, okay. But for someone else, but for people that are close to you and people that they're assured of how Terry feels, and we go back to that place of be the kind of person that is always, when it's good, when it's bad, it's bad, so that people can know that whatever you're saying is authentic. So if kuna wengine sasa, when you're close, you can be able to say, hey, hapana.
And you say it out of love, not
out of love, because they know already who mtu ananipenda. So it's not a matter of they're trying to shame me, they're just trying to correct me and help me on the right path.
And I think also it's nice when you do it in private.
Yeah. Don't shout. Okay, usiende ukiambia mtu makosa yake timbele kila mtu.
Wewe yako ofisi.
Foolish mumu. Okay, nikisema hivyo ofisi. Look at this mumu.
See, don't do it. I think also don't do it unless it's something that happened in public.
And also know the kind of person you're dealing with.
Personality. Actually knowing people's personality.
Exactly. Because me, I'm those people when even my boss can correct me in front of me and I'm not feeling anything. Because me, I know when it's business, and when it's personal, it's personal. Come on, and attack on a personal level, I know. If he's attacking me on a business level, then I know this is strictly work, nothing more. So I don't mind.
And you don't keep it in your head.
I don't keep it. Because me, I'm not the kind of people who hold it.
How do you do that?
I don't know. It's just, I think it's personality. It's like
you block things.
Not blocking. I just know how to separate. Like, I know when it's personal, if it's my best friend who's coming to talk to me about a personal issue, maybe I went out and I did something, a mistake, and I feel like they need to approach it. Then they can't come and shout at me in front of everyone too. They'll come and call me on the side and talk to me. Because that's like on a personal level and everything. But I know how to segment. I know when it's being personal. Like, this is something in the official. This is official business. And this is personal. So it's not a matter of blocking. Sometimes when you tell me I'm those ones who takes correction very well. Because I told you a while back in one of the mini we did, I have a hard time accepting compliments because I'm usually so hard on myself. And for me, criticism, I accept it more than I accept. Imagine. Like me, when somebody criticizes me, like I appreciate it and I take it to heart because I'm like, hey, anyway, this is a platform to change. This is a platform to heal. What was this person trying to say to me? And sometimes I even ask myself, maybe God and Mtuma, there's something they need to communicate to me and they need me to change. So for me, I take criticism very well as opposed to compliments. You compliment me and I won't even take it to me. He's just joking. They're just joking. But for criticism, I take it to heart. I don't know. I think it's a personality issue. I don't know.
But how do you don't? Sometimes it's easy for you to keep a grudge when someone has corrected you.
Serious?
Sometimes I tend to think it's easy for you to keep a grudge
when it's a person who doesn't know me. Me, if you're not close, don't come here and tell me that you know me. Well, me nakushikia grudge with. But if you're close, I don't know how to do it.
But how do you let go of grudges? Do you have how has it worked for you that you don't keep it like you don't hold it for people? Because sometimes when someone may correct you out of mistake, like they misunderstood your action, then they're like, will you get? So how do you make it possible for you not to hold a grudge towards that person?
I don't know if I hold grudges. Meanwhile, I dismiss things very easily. Especially,
you forget about it, like
not even, I'll be pissed for like 2 days, then the third day I'll be like, me, I'm those ones, I'm like,
kuongelesha tuko sawa.
ni John the Baptist, unaingiza kwa maji, the third day I raise again. I'm those me, I rise. Like on the third day, I'm like, I'm done. Me, but then I'm those people who can go to sleep today and decide something, and tomorrow I'll wake up and I'm completely done. Done. Even my friends tell me I have a very bad name. Because we can be friends, then tukosane siku moja, and I realize that this thing is not going anywhere. Imagine I shut off. And once I shut off, but then I think I block. Me, know how to block. I shut off.
Let's meet on another
Hey, then I kulala, the next morning I wake up, I'm a new person. I'm done. Peace. Hey, I'm gonna meditate. Peace, come to me. Peace. Yeah, I'm those ones, imagine. So I think I block. I think it's a good thing because it doesn't affect me. Eventually, I forget everything. So
even the person forgets the package.
Okay, say Nile, when I meet you, I'm not angry anymore. I don't know. I find a way to heal myself. Me, I think I have that healing process. Like, I'll be done, Nanile, I'll rise from it, then I'll be done for a period of time, and maybe even I won't see you for a while. Then once I see you, we are good. Because Nile, I'm like,
you're protecting your heart.
I'm like, it's good. Maybe it didn't work out for us. It's our. Let's move on with our lives.
What's your parting shot on conflict?
Parting shot, just open yourself up to be criticized. 1, 2, have those people that you can that are able to tell you the truth without you getting offended. You need like those people, like even if it's 1 person or 2 people that you know, if you go and tell them the real situation, unajua kuna place unaweza ndo criticize utete mimi sina makosa, but you go to somebody and you tell them this is the situation that happened, and they'll tell you by the way you are wrong, and that person is able to speak through to you in a way that utasema anyway. Yeah. So yeah, so have someone, an accountability. We can call them accountability partner. Then also don't think you're too perfect. You're not perfect. So
you're all imperfect.
Yeah, so even when sometimes when people are trying to tell you that whatever you're doing and this and this is bringing a disagreement, learn to understand which is the part that you're playing. You're not always, you can't play victim every time.
Exactly.
Know which part you're playing to cause this conflict. And don't always put the blame game on other people. Hey, no. You just decide. This is the part I played, and this was the part where, yes, they provoked me, but this is where I escalated it, and this is where we got, Yeah, that is it.
I think also pick your struggles.
Yeah,
pick your struggles.
Not every argument that you're supposed to do. That's what you want to do. Peace. But Mimi,
because the way you see, there's a comment you said once that you know your true intentions.
Yeah.
So someone takes it differently.
This is yours.
So it has been Teen Heart to Heart. Thank you for watching. Comment, subscribe, and see you later.